first couple of bites, focusing on the intensity of bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup, smokier finish on what you're savory flavors as well to complement the prawn tails you're going to dig into. Made out of Goyakam Goku sake rice, milled down to half of its original size. Labels this as a Junmai Ginjo, so you're getting into the top 2% of quality for Japanese sake.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a little creative.
Yeah.
It was brushed with a little bit of clarified butter, dusted with salt. It is meant to be plucked off of that tail, so you can't tell us where you don't. Then dipped in that sauce. So that little dome shape here on the flat plate, all of the flavors of shrimp scampi. So just kind of drag it through the sauce. And then within the prawn head is a prawn head puree with foie gras. In order to get to that texture, you just scoot it around and scoop out the inside.
A little bit of heat, a little bit of spice. There's some sugar, but it's backed up with some massively refreshing structures. This next presentation, we're going to put the most absurd amount of food onto your table. There's a lot headed your way. So a lot of flavors inside of this glass are going to be to your advantage to help connect the dots. It's all of the little bites of Thai cuisine that you're going to tuck into next. The wine you're sipping on as well is built a little bit like lemonade. Also a lot of very refreshing acid. And that 1-2 punch of sweet and then tart is the best way to kind of levy against the capsaicin spice of Thai bird's eye chili. Quite remarkable stuff. 2020 vintage of Dr. Ernst Lucent's Weilaner Sonnenor. This is Riesling Spätlese.
There is a lot more coming your way. So, are you ready for the big reveal?
Oh, yes.
What initially could have been perhaps a very strange piece of artwork is actually an element of your dining experience. Showcasing this beautiful machine.
It's like a torture machine.
It does. And we don't need gym memberships here. A lot of running up the stairs.
That's what I'm gonna ask. It's a good workout.
It's big fin squid with a classic Thai curry sauce.
There's still more.
Absolutely. So taking a seafood stew, these over the top. Moving on, Alaskan king crab with finger limes on top, poached in coconut fat. Flavors of papaya, peanut, and shallot all blend together in a refreshing bite intended to be enjoyed after you've eaten everything else.
Oh, I love that.
It is a coconut cake in the style of a coconut sprout. They're cooked, but only if it's found locally. It tends to spoil incredibly quickly. Yes, in Thailand, it's enjoyed almost fresh out of the ground.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Of course.
Doesn't feel hot, but rather silky. Nice way to complement your next textures. The aromas inside the glass is a nice way to complement the Mexican fare that you are going to dig into next. Amarone della Valpolicella Classico, 2014, from Ca del Monte. This winery has been operating since the early 1900s. 3 generations of the Zanconte family. It's now on Umberto and Giuseppe Zanconte to run the family business. A blend of indigenous grapes called Corvina, Rondinella, and Molinara. They take those 3 varietals and they dry them, turn them into partial raisins before they start fermenting this into wine. Now, one of the reasons why you get a really pretty bouquet of dried red fruits, but the 18 months of oak barreling that they put onto this wine brings a little bit more of a chocolate profile on the finish of this wine as well.
A classic mole in those eyeballs, taking hand-rolled oats and pairing them alongside those flavors of peanut chili and just a hint of coconut. Those same flavors present themselves in the mole in your bowls, which we've paired with some butternut squash wrapped in gold leaf and pinky pumpkin seeds over
Over the top, you'll find remains of the Azteca calendar and the flavors of prickly pear and radish, as well as hoja santa. So you notice a very, very distinct element of sassafras in that particular bite.
Naduduling-duling pa. Naduduling-duling pa. Huwag ka magulo yung camera, gumagalaw-galaw. Ang sarap. Sabay-sabay ginagawa ng mga chef. Kaya pag na-late ka, hindi mo inabot yung menu na rin. Sorry ka na lang.
Sorry, you missed it.
You missed it.
Yes. That's right. You have a point there. So this is the main course. What will you do?
Babox mo na lang. Box mo.
Very bright side, a lot of very bright cherry flavors inside the glass, but it's backed up with a lot of herbaceous green flavors of thyme and oregano and tomato leaf. We're going to take you to the island of Sicily, down in the Mediterranean, for some very savory flavors. That you're sipping from was established in 1796. They are almost as old as the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you need something very full-bodied. Getting into the round lefty, that's the dry
This sauce is a reduction of flavors of Sicily.
Italy.
There's balsamic vinegar as well as oregano and basil. A little bit of red wine reduction. The primary focus of this course is the lamb. So the lamb chop has been seared and then dipped into a sun-dried tomato glaze. And on top of that, mimicking the look of its own wool, is a goat cheese panade.
Goat cheese. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Taste of Italy and Olivia.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an important question for you.
And your red wine poached fig salad in any order of operations that you would like.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Ano mo rin yan?
Wala ka lang.
Where's your sister? Where's your sister?
Kinain yung lamb chop, tapos kinain. Dalawang lamb chop kinain.
And give you a very full-bodied red wine to help bring some textural balance to the scales. Rioja Gran Reserva from north central Spain, Rioja Alta, home to the Buga family. This is their Gran Reserva bottle aged from 2014 called Prado Enea. Very traditional blend. 70% Tempranillo, splitting the last 30% of the bottle between Grenache, Graciano, and Carignan, or as it's known in Rioja, Mazuelo. They take these grapes from some incredibly old vineyards as well. The Tempranillo itself, about 100-year-old average on those grapevines, so you get a bit more of a concentration in terms of flavor profile and texture. They also age this for 3 years in French barrique and 3 more years in bottle before they release this. So you get a lot of very savory aromas and flavors inside the glass to complement this last presentation of savory flavor.
At the base of the plate is a bechamel sauce, so lots of flavors of nutmeg. There's some truffle in there as well. A5 Wagyu rests at the base of that structure with a disc of brioche balanced on top with preserved black truffle. And then on top, the blooming structure is Bresaola.
Wow, it's beautifully presented.
It's very pretty.
Pretty.
The best way to go about it, I know it's really pretty, but you have to destroy it in order to enjoy it. You just have to cut right through the center.
Okay.
Alright.
Got it.
Cheers.
Thank you. Go ahead and Wagyu. Oh, I love it. It melts in your mouth.
Number 1. Inside that beautiful food, you'll find a chestnut eggnog. You have to explore what's inside of that glass chestnut, a chestnut and white truffle puree with a classic Italian meringue nestled underneath.
Alright, thanks.
Your final presentation of the evening. There's going to be a lot of sugar.
Oh.
Little sweet wine. You're back to the Veneto for a pasito style produced by Macallan called Torquelato. This is the 2013 harvest. This is 100% Best Viola. A little region called Braganza where this wine is made is exactly where Asiago cheese is made. That's one of the reasons why. This is the last one, yes. That really high salty cheese of Asiago is a nice way to kind of contrast all of the sweetness. Apple caramel sauce.
Rose apple and vanilla oat sauce.
Which one? Making a painting.
Birch syrup.
I could frame his work.
Pretzel, cheddar cheese, and fudge crumble. Compressed rose apple. Pecan caramels. And cider infused donuts. Chocolate pecan ice cream, frozen in liquid nitrogen. Cinnamon sugar glue.
Wow.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. You're very welcome. Oh, it's very satisfying to do.
Parang si Kado.
Eat for this one.
Parang si Kado yung ano ginagawa niya sa farmer.
Yes, Emily in Paris. Parang ka natatayan.